Hi everyone and welcome back to TS Talks. Hope you're doing good, keeping safe. Now in this one, I'm just talking about the whole vaccine situation. Obviously over here in the UK, we've had the first, I think it's the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine been rolled out in certain hospitals and stuff. And we're the first in the world to have a clinically approved vaccine rolled out. And there's a lot of discussion on it, a lot of debate. I believe there's, in my opinion, I think there's three main categories of people in regards to the whole vaccine. There's those that's, they're, really happy it's here, they're ecstatic about it, and, they're willing to take it as soon as it's available for them. There is the group that's, they're like, okay, there's a vaccine, they're a bit more skeptical about it. And then there is the group that's kind of against it. And at the moment, I see a lot of agendas being pushed about, people will go and eat this food, or people would do this and that, but they wouldn't trust the vaccine. And it's like, well, given my personal opinion on it, prior to COVID and during COVID, this government, and that includes the likes of obviously Boris, Matt Hancock, most of these politicians and stuff, people weren't trusting them with anything. People weren't listening to these people prior to the pandemic about how to live their day-to-day life. I think back in March, people started listening to them for a period of time, just because it was, there's this virus, we've gone into a national lockdown and whatnot. And as time's gone on, people are like, well, this thing seems a bit exaggerated. I'm not saying it is, but there's people that just don't trust these politicians. I'll be honest, I'm one of them. I've said it in videos before. I wouldn't trust these guys to run me a bath. Like the bathtub mysteriously would probably just fall apart. That's the reality of it. But yeah, I think that you can't kind of scrutinize people if they're like, actually, I don't want the vaccine, and people say, there's these ridiculous conspiracy theories regarding it. Well, for my personal opinion, the best way to disprove any conspiracy theory is, you come out and address it. You come out and say, any theory that's out there, you say, actually, no, this isn't the case. We can prove you the facts, and if anything's found to not be factual, then this is the legality route. I think the fact that with this specific vaccine that it was rushed for emergency approval, and then obviously it started to be rolled out. A few people have had allergic reactions. They're saying if you're allergic to certain things, not to have it. It kind of feeds into people that might think, you know what, I'd rather pass. And there's a lot of things I'm seeing recently where it's like, people talk about if you want to go on a holiday, then you're going to need to have had the vaccine, or if you want to go to certain restaurants and that, eventually it will be like, or cinemas, you will need to have the vaccine. And I saw on Good Morning Britain the other day, I think it's the owner of Pimlico Plumbers, saying that he wouldn't be sending out none of his staff to people's households if the people in the household didn't have the vaccine. Now, for me, I think that's a bit ridiculous, because as my title says, you're basically saying, no vaccine, no normality. And as I've said in a few videos before, at the end of the day, I'm not sure if there's 8 billion people on this world, wherever it is. People have different thoughts, people have different opinions. We're all different individuals. Now, as far as I'm aware, a vaccine for COVID-19 is meant to help prevent you getting it. And the whole point of the vaccine is to help prevent you getting it. So even if you come into contact with someone who has it, it's still meant to help you, stop you from getting it. So it's something that not everybody needs to have. If there's people that feel like, okay, they want to go and have this, fine. It's the same thing with the flu jab. Obviously, COVID-19 is meant to be it's obviously a lot more serious, apparently, But at the end of the day, not everyone goes and gets the flu jab. And I've started to see a lot of workplaces recently where they are kind of pushing the agenda of, it's like, oh yeah, you need to get the flu jab this year, you need to get the flu jab. And it's like, well, no, if you ain't really had the flu in 10 years, why do you want to go get the flu jab for? Like, what are you playing at? And the reality of it is there's people that, it's a shame, but there's some people that are like, they listen to what the government say and say, oh yeah, the vaccine. It's like, oh well, yeah, if they said that we must do this, then everyone must do it. It's like, no. At the end of the day, there's a thing called human rights. And if you don't want to do something, you shouldn't be forced or made to feel guilty for not doing it, you know. My thing on this is, if I want to go on a holiday, it shouldn't be that, oh, I must have the vaccine or a negative test to go on holiday. What if I was just go on holiday? Because it's an agenda. Eventually it'll be like, oh, well, you need to have this to go to work. So as much as I've seen, they're saying, oh, it's not going to be made mandatory, but they can't rule it out. At the moment, it seems like eventually it'll be like, well, you can't actually do nothing unless you have it. And these are the sort of things that lead into people who have theories regarding it. At the end of the day, the best way to come out and, help stop any anti-vaxxers or conspiracy theorists is that you come out and address it. But the reality of it is no one's addressing it, and the people talking don't seem trustworthy. Like I said, I wouldn't trust Johnson, Hancock, Whitty. I wouldn't trust them to run a bath, let alone about telling me about some vaccine. And that's just me speaking about myself. If you probably ask the people that are, proper, like, into the conspiracy theories, they'll probably go more in depth. But this is me giving my honest opinion from my own point of view. That at the end of the day, some people will look at it and say, well, I should be able to live my life normally. So yeah, it's an odd one. I could probably go on speaking about it for a bit more, but for me, I don't feel that anyone should be made to feel guilty as to, if you don't want to have the vaccine. Again, I'm not pushing no agenda. What I do on here is I speak on a subject, and I give my opinion on it. And my opinion on it is that if the vaccine's meant to be so clinically safe and whatnot, and it's run through these trials, people shouldn't have been having reactions within the first 24 to 48 hours of it being rolled out. And if you have the vaccine, the whole point of the vaccine is as far as I'm aware, is to stop you getting it and whatnot. So that therefore means not everyone needs to have it. But that's just my thoughts. Like I said earlier on in this, there's the people that the die hard for the vaccine. There's people that's skeptical about it, and the people that's like 100% nah, not for me. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on it all in the comment section below. And if you haven't already done so, go hit that subscribe button now, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.